Okay guys, so we're doing a reading vlog of benefits, oh my gosh, between friends and lovers, is what we're starting with. And I have to read this to you because, girl, this one is for my independent girls. You've been through it, you've been gaslit, you've been drained dry, you've been told what you can and can't achieve, and you've proven everyone wrong along the way. And because you've endured, you decided that you are strong. And I'm here to say enough of that. Strong isn't a personality trait. It's a sign that you've been neglected and not protected. It's just as much evidence of your trauma as it is of your triumph. So this year I say, enough with the strength. I'm entering my damsel era. I'm eating cake and being pretty and crying when I'm hurt and apologizing for none of it. Won't you join me? Okay. Which is so interesting, right? Because we don't really think about strength like that. We think of it as an asset. Just like we think of all kinds of things that might, like longevity of a relationship. The longer you're with somebody means that your relationship's stronger, which I've lived through, and that's not necessarily the case. You could be stubborn and trying to work things out and be totally oblivious of what is occurring to you. And there's so many notions and connotations within society about, like, you're supposed to make it work and, you know, stay if you're already in the committed relationship, and it'll get better and all of that, right? Because even like divorce and things like that are so looked down upon. So that's kind of where my mind goes, right? But strength too, it's like, when I was getting through my divorce and everything like that, a lot of what fear that I really had was this piece of just like not being jaded, right? Because I felt like I had to be so strong and like through the whole process. And it's really not something you have to do. And I don't know, I just kind of had that expectation of myself, and the hardest part about like doing the therapy at that point was just being like vulnerable and admitting what you're feeling and feeling what you're feeling more than anything. And so I respect this damsel era. I'm curious to see what our girl is gonna go through. Her name's Josephine, and I think I said it kind of is supposed to be like a love triangle. And she just asked Malcolm, and so we're kind of going to see from there what happens. But so far it's really nice. And I just realized that there's a blurb on the front cover from Emily Henry that literally reads, "What a beautiful, emotionally generous, good-hearted book." Emily Henry. So maybe it will give a little of her vibe throughout the book, but I don't know, food for thought for sure. But it's true. Even like within my relationship with Grant and everything, that was a huge piece that I had to like really get through, was letting him be there, letting him take care of me, and like accepting love, I think, in a weird way. It's just like the craziest thing to think about, but it's true. When you go through something traumatic, then you really feel guarded, you put up barriers even if you're not aware of it. And I think that's one of the big reasons I went to therapy, because I wanted to kind of battle that piece, because I can be really stubborn. I know that I don't need anyone. No one needs anybody, right? I mean, I do think you need like your friends and your family and everything like that, but like a partnership, it's something you might want, but it's not like a necessary need. And that's the thing, right? If you just put everything onto somebody to like make you happy, it'll never happen. You have to be happy within yourself. And then if you want to share that with a partner and share your life together, like that's your own thing. But you can't put so much on somebody, because it's your responsibility too. Like, You need to love you first. Hey guys, I just got back and I got my Too Good To Go order. If you haven't heard of Too Good To Go, it's basically this application that you can download to your phone, and they are trying to promote less food waste. So what happens at the end of the day when restaurants don't sell everything that they've, created or made and stuff, a lot of times they just get thrown out. And so this way you can pay like a reduced price, and they kind of give you like a free-for-all, like whatever is like left over from the day that they're not going to salvage for the following days. And yeah, and so it's really cool. We did one yesterday from Phil's Coffee, and we got like a bunch of treats. I'll insert a photo. I think that one was $3.99. And then today I had signed up for this place, which I will show you because I do not know how to pronounce it. I don't speak any French. But yes. And then I'll just show you what they are, and later me and Grant will try them and I'll record our reactions on like our thoughts on everything. But if you haven't heard of it, I would definitely recommend looking and seeing if they have places in your area that are doing it, because it's a lot of fun. And usually get like an abundance of whatever they sell there. Boba, food, bakery goods. Grocery stores do it too. I think Whole Foods just got on the bandwagon for it. So yeah, but it's just like a fun thing to do, especially if you're in college or anything like that. I wish they had this because I lived in New York for grad school, and imagine like the places you could have got out there. Like, I'm sure it's abundant in its choices, and I'm hopefully a lot of places are participating since that is like a bigger city. But yeah. Okay, so this is our box, and these are the goodies. So this was, I think, like $5 something for all these guys. So we have like I think this is like a cookie croissant, some kind of hazelnut chocolate, I think. Then we have this one, which is like a cream puff of some sort. And then this guy, which I'm not sure what's in there, but we'll see later. But it looks pretty good. And usually, for example, like me paying $5 for this, you probably, if you actually went to the cafe and like got a coffee and a baked good, the baked good would probably be around the price for one, right? So it's kind of like you save some money in that way, and you get to try some new things maybe you wouldn't have picked out yourself. Okay, we're gonna try the treats. Okay, this is the croissant with, I think, hazelnut and chocolate cookie.
You didn't get any cookie.
Look, there's chocolate inside. Yeah?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I think that's better than the one we tried yesterday.
Yeah, I think it has more flavor. What's this?
You think it's regular chocolate or Nutella? Like
Regular. What is this?
I don't know what's
Porto's cheese puff.
Try them all and then we'll rate them. It's like apples.
There's apples in there. Like the Porto's cheese puff with apples.
But no cheese.
That's what it reminds me of though.
Pretty good. It's like an apple turnover. Leia. No.
You trying this?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm chewing the camera stand.
Yeah. No, Lay. That's not for you.
Here, try this one.
This one's the most exciting, I think.
What is this?
Like a cream puff. I can't tell if there's like a flavoring. It's just like whipped cream.
It's just whipped cream.
Are you sure? Not too sweet.
Last place.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like kind of refreshing.
That's last place.
This one's like
First, second, third.
yeah.
You have enough toys.
Okay, what do you give this one? Like
Out of what?
a 6 out of 10?
5.
5?
5 out of 10.
This one? Pretty good.
8. 8 out of 10, and this gets a 6.5. 6.75.
So you liked the stuff yesterday better?
I think so. But this one's good.
This one's the best one. I agree. The other two are not that interesting.
Yeah, they're okay. Nothing special.
Okay, guys. The banter is bantering. So listen to this. I don't understand how you're alive. I'm too pretty to cook. Besides, I can tell you set me up. You clearly know what you're doing. My dad and I used to make pasta once a week when I was a kid. I was a picky eater. Would only eat vegetables if they were drenched in Alfredo sauce. I can still make a pretty respectable tortellini. Okay, sure, that's cute, but you still attempted to deceive me. As your punishment, I'm gonna need you to take a picture. Already got me on my Instagram boyfriend duties? Is that what you want? To be my boyfriend? Is that a question? Does it have an answer? And then Malcolm says over here, if he learned anything from his last interaction with her, it was that he'd do his best by being honest, not trying to tell her what he thought she wanted to hear. Guys, the banter is bantering, and I love how he's taking an approach to just like being honest. And I don't know, it just makes me giddy because when me and Grant first like met and I was starting to get to know him, it was definitely like that, where I was just like, I don't know, it was just like a sense of like calm, that you knew you could like be your actual self with them and that they weren't going to judge you for it, and there was like some freedom to that as well. There wasn't like this almost like nervousness or insecurity to like be something you're not, or like be what somebody wanted because they would choose you. It's like, I don't know, you felt like, I definitely felt like a calmness to being like, I know whatever I say in your presence, like it'll be safe and it's okay because you are authentic. And it almost like felt like, not like a dare, but like almost like permission and like the most like, be yourself because I'm being myself. And then obviously fell forward to like, I love you because of who you are, not because of like what you're trying to be or like this persona you put on. And I don't know, I feel like a lot in my life I always shy from that because I just always wanted to be accepted. I feel like that just ranges from being a woman and all of that, but like truly one of the things I like respect so much about the people and the friends that I keep and all of that, my family and loved ones, that I really treasure, I think, is that authenticity, being genuine, and like not being afraid to be who you are, and just like that acceptance that you get. And I think that's how you know you have like really great friends or like a great circle around you or found family or whatever, is not feeling like you have to be anything other than yourself. And I don't know, that's why this part's making me giddy for sure. And I am in the process of going to get ready in a second. I do have a third interview for this company today, so getting my bangs ready. But I was just trying to do a little reading before I went off and did that, and yeah, I'm gonna finish this chapter. But so far so good. I am liking it. I feel like it's getting better. Like we're getting into like the real deal of the story now. Okay guys, I'm continuing reading, and Mal and Joe are on their date, and it kind of gets to like some heated topics. Basically, she's taking a break from healthcare and doing something a little bit different, and so he's asking like if she's gonna return or when that will be, and they're having this whole discussion. And it was just so interesting because it reminded me a lot of myself and kind of like the difficulties you face when you're in healthcare, 100%, but also like still being drawn to that field and like wanting to do good. And he asked a question which I thought was really interesting. Like, here's a question for you. When you imagine a world without limits, without bills, without duty and expectations, what do you see yourself doing? And then she asked him to go first. But I feel like that's such an important question in itself. It's like, what would you do? Like, what would you be doing if that like fear of not having like financial stability or like a place to live or like being able to sustain yourself, like what does that look like? And I think it's so curious because I don't know that a lot of people ask themselves this, or I don't know if a lot of people think about it. I've definitely thought about it before, but I love that it's in this book. And I don't know, it's just like, it's kind of like a food for thought, like things that you might want to do one day in your life. And for me, like I think in some regards I would still like be helping in some way or another in people. I don't know specifically how it might change, but one of the things I love about helping people and whatever it might be is that kind of challenge of like a new environment, people from different cultures, like really figuring out that puzzle of like how can I best seek treatment or advice or just like suggestions for this person based on like where they're at and what their goals are. And so I feel like I would do that, but I think it also kind of plays into like any kind of passions that you have, like how you like to live your life. So having some kind of balance where like maybe if you didn't have to work, then maybe volunteering would be really wonderful. I think I would love that. Like I envision this almost when I'm like retired, right? And I want to give back, but I also think I want to make sure there's time to like see my friends and do the fun things I love, like reading or like exercise in whatever way that looks. If it's pickleball, if it's jiu-jitsu, if it's running, walking, having long walks with your favorite people, whatever it might look like. I think that's what I would love. And also just exploring like new places. I love traveling. I love seeing how other people live, what a day-to-day life looks like for them, trying new foods and like the culture and understanding why things are very important to other people and how that increases the enjoyment of life for them. I don't know. So, I don't know, just like food for thought, but I thought that was a really wonderful question for them to have in here. And yeah, I'm still in the beginnings of it, but I just felt like I had to talk about that piece. Also, the interview went really well. So TBD on what happens next, basically. Thank you. guys, it's been a few days, and I've been slowly reading more and more. I have like this much left, and basically Malcolm finally told Joe, like, you gotta choose, because she's kind of in her feels about what she wants, who she wants, and not necessarily having like the full-on option, but nice to see Malcolm stand his ground. And then we're having this other conversation right now. We get to see some of the background about another character, and basically she has been with this man and he's very wealthy, and she herself is like a powerhouse, and you get to see her struggle and kind of just accept the way he is. Even though he keeps messing up, he tries to fix everything with money. And Joe is like, I don't understand why you stay. And in her words, she's saying that it's not love. No matter how like you look at it, it was selfishness and him being cruel and kind of just like doing whatever he wanted because he could fix it with money, right? And I don't know, it was just like, it took me back, because I think that is the piece, like just taking everything into consideration. Like, is it worth continuing living like this? Yikes. Oh my gosh, guys. She's having like a real girl talk with her friend Dahlia, and I love her. She's just like no nonsense, and I feel like I can resonate with her life experience, but basically just like living without regrets is what she's kind of solidify with Joe, like tell her. And even things that have been horrible in her life, she wouldn't take back because it made her who she is now. And she would never trade the version she is now. And I don't know, I want to cry. It was so moving. I don't know why I'm gonna cry. But, you know, like the whole thing of like, if they wanted to, they would. They just did like, I love when people are so thoughtful and you didn't ask them to be, they just are. And that bravery to like just say your feelings no matter what the outcome is, and to be honest, it's just gets me every time. Now we got the EPs. Tired. Hey guys, so it has been, I finished Between Friends and Lovers by Shirlene Obuobi. I'm probably butchering that. I'm so sorry. But I finished it yesterday morning, and I have been trying to figure out what my rating would be for it, and I'm leaning towards a 3.75, I think. I thought it was super good. I thought it was entertaining. I loved the like themes and topics that were brought up in this book, and I think in the last clip you got to see me reading a very emotional part that was like so much of, I don't even know how to explain it, just like encapsulated like how it is when you're like in a healthy relationship and the love that is really like given from each other. Reminded me so much of my current relationship with Grant, and so I was just emotional reading that because she did such a good job, like just putting it towards more than anything, and I love that. I did feel like the connection with the characters, I felt like it came so kind of slow for me, and I felt like by the end I felt like I knew them well, but I wish it felt that way earlier on so things would have hit harder, if that makes sense. Because I feel like my attachment was kind of delayed to them, and that's why I couldn't do like a 4 or a 5 star, because I felt like that piece was just not there. I thought there was like quite the crazy plot twist that happened in this book, and it wasn't really addressed, I don't believe. And so that also was kind of bothering me about this book, because I did not expect things to go that way or like to be revealed, and you don't really know if that was the case, or I guess it's kind of up to you, if that makes sense, that just like you choose what the truth might have been. But yeah, so I think that for those reasons it's a 3.75, but I had a lot of fun. I thought this author did a really great job at like bringing up these like hard topics and just thought-provoking themes, and so for that reason I would definitely read something else by her in the future, and I had a good time. I thought it was good, but I think she's gonna get better. I think we give her some more time, she might give us like an Emily Henry like 5 star. So yeah, I think if you are looking for a new like rom-com that kind of deals with the healthcare field, or if you've worked in any capacity in the healthcare field, I feel like this will like really touch you or really relate to you for sure. I think also if you have any interest in like social media or anything like that, that also is very prominent here, so that might be a draw as well. And I kind of like that it was a little bit different. It wasn't like your standard rom-com equation happening, and the mental health representation was pretty good. I think it gave kind of an inside look at what it could look like and when help might be necessary or needed, or just kind of like the support that you need within that was also really brought up, which you don't always get to see. Sometimes it's like brought up, but it's not really like shown. So if it is triggering to read about that, I would just maybe look up trigger warnings beforehand. But yeah, I think that's kind of my synopsis, and thank you so much for staying here and going along with this reading vlog. I know this is my first one, so but I thought it was a lot of fun, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.